Hey everybody. I'm thinking about doing this since this morning, and a lot of people, like I said, when I gave my thoughts on some of the things that happened at Hell in the Cell last night, even though I didn't order the pay-per-view, one of the things a lot of people keep talking about, whether it's here on YouTube, Blimp.tv, Daily Motion, at the WWE Universe forums, at Twitter, at Facebook, on the wrestling forums like Wrestling Forum and Wrestling News World and Yahoo and places like that. The question everybody has is, will John Cena join Nexus? And I already gave my opinions about it. Now, some other people I'm pretty sure out there are probably thinking to themselves, how much longer do we have to deal with Nexus? I mean, we've dealt with them long enough. How long do we have to keep dealing with them? And well, here's the thing about Nexus. I know some of you have come out and said that they have shoved Nexus down our throats long enough. We get the idea. These guys, they need... Basically what's going on with Nexus is this, and this is just my opinion on it. I think what's going on is WWE, when they formed Nexus, and I think a lot of you would agree on this, did it because, well, first of all, a couple of the top stars on Raw, if not one of the main top stars, Triple H, is basically out with an injury. The same with The Undertaker, even though he was on SmackDown, he was out with an injury. So anyway, that is why Nexus came around. That was one of the reasons, because some of the major stars were out with injuries. Same could be said, but another reason was they also wanted to establish some new stars. See, you think WWE is stupid and they don't see what TNA is doing, despite the fact that TNA has Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff, and people are saying they're not doing the right job and anything. Despite what people say, WWE does see what's going on with TNA and does see what's going on with Ring of Honor. And what they see is young men and women being pushed, the unknowns being pushed. So they probably figure the best thing to do is to give the unknowns, give the young men and women an opportunity to become known. That is why Nexus is still around. Basically, Nexus is still around, like I said, to establish new stars. But in my opinion, the reason it was, like I said, the reason it was put together and the reason it's still being shoved down our throats, like as many of you would probably say, is to establish all the young talents so they can be known. So that when the day comes that Nexus does disband, at least we won't look at someone like a Heath Slater and say, who's that? We'll remember exactly where he came from. I mean, let's say a guy like Heath Slater and Michael Tarver, Nexus dissolves, they go to SmackDown, they become nothing but jobbers on SmackDown. You see what I'm saying? All Nexus is basically the NXT Season 1 rookies continuing their training, but on a bigger level. That's the whole thing. They're just continuing the NXT situation, the NXT challenge, to be groomed and to gain the personalities and all that, but on a more national level. That's why it's still around. And most importantly, like I said, besides the other stuff I mentioned, it's also to establish the stars. Its main focus, if you believe it or not, has been, if you've noticed, at times have been nothing more. They've been focused on 3 individuals. Their main focus has been Wade Barrett, Justin Gabriel, and David Otunga. You see, they notice that Wade, in a way, has the complete package almost, except for his finisher. And they know that it'll establish him as a major main event heel. Justin Gabriel, they look at Justin Gabriel as probably being, I don't know, the next The next big thing when it comes to little men getting a push in WWE. That, you know, he has the look, he has the potential, he has the ability. They see that. And the same could be said for David Otunga. David Otunga, wrestling-wise, may not have the ability as good as anybody else, but he has the charisma, he has that look. Look, like, hey, I'm better. It's basically a driving force to establish those three primarily as the next top 3 stars in WWE's future. Like I said, he's slated on Michael Tarver. Once the group dissolves, they may end up going to like SmackDown and becoming jobbers. Who knows? But that's what it is. And if they got 2 new members in Husky Harris and Michael McGillicuddy, it's basically to establish them again as stars as well, because of the lineage in the sport. But overall, like I said, all the things I've said and everything, that is why Nexus is still around. It's basically to bring these guys full circle. It's basically the NXT training, season 1 training, continuing but on a more national level. That's all it is. That's why they're still here. I mean, they had the opportunity to end it last night. Didn't happen. They have an opportunity to end it. They had an opportunity to end it at SummerSlam. Did not happen. Night of Champions did not happen. That's why it's still around, because they're giving. It's basically, they're still basically doing NXT training, and that's it. But it's also just a driving force that focuses on guys like Justin Gabriel, Wade Barrett, and David Otunga to try and establish them as the next big stars in World Wrestling Entertainment. That's why it's still around. If it ends at Bragging Rights, it ends at Survivor Series, then it'll end around those times. If it ends at one of those events, then that means WWE would have accomplished its goal to establish, in having the guys that they want to focus on be established as stars. So we'll just see what happens from there. That's all I'm going to say. Tell me what you think. Do you think I'm right about it? If not, give me your opinion, video response, comment down below, and I'll talk to y'all later.